Thank you very much. And I know this panel is the barrier between you and lunch. So we'll try to be very quick. Thank you. So our panel really is looking at the impact of social media and disruptive technologies on personality traits. And I've three men who are going to talk about this. If you can be quick so that we have a lot of time for discussions. There are some people in the room who have not said a word since morning, and we hope in this session they'll be able to do so. So if you can first introduce yourself and then talk through your topic, and then we will answer a lot of questions. But before I sit down, because I have the mic, I just wanted to say to the person who raised something about suicide, we do have lines, helplines listed on Facebook, but we don't have the Mauritius one. So I think it's something that we need to look at so that we have the Mauritius one as well. Okay, so if I can have Mr. Veekash Aukhojee to talk about it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I've already been presented. I'm Veekash Aukhojee from Emtel. What to say, I think everything already been said by all our previous speakers, but I'll try to be very brief and very quick. Internet everywhere today, right? Do you think you can live without internet? This question has been asked previously. Let's say, I don't know, let's suppose you all have an Emtel subscription and there's an issue and the internet is not working. Will you be happy? Or will you be shouting at Emtel what's happening? Right? Let's suppose Facebook is down for 1 hour, forget 1 hour, 30 minutes. What happens? Today, before everyone goes to sleep, what do they first check? They check the mobiles. I'm sure 90% of this room do the same. They check the mobiles. What is the first thing they do in the morning when they wake up? Again, check the mobiles. What's the post? What's the latest post on Facebook? Right? In this world of internet, there are many OTT players, or the top players, right? You've got WhatsApp, you've got Viber, you've got YouTube, you've got many things. You've got many other content providers which keep on providing their contents. But we don't know which of the contents they have. What is the content which is allowed to a youth? What is the content which is allowed to a child? What is the content which is allowed to an adult? Is it that the responsibility of the content provider? Is it the responsibility of the one using it, or is it the responsibility of the parent? Since we are talking about youth here, you know in Mauritius the law says you need to be 18 and above to get SIM card. You have to register that. But today, like one of our colleagues mentioned, yes, you pass your exam, you pass your XXC exam, I'll give you an iPhone, I'll give you an S9, I'll give you the latest handset. But the registration is done. The father there, user is the child. What the user is doing, we don't know. You will also agree with me that today, you may have a kid of 5 years, and you may have a grandfather of 60 years. You will know that the kid is showing the grandfather how to use the internet, how to go on YouTube, how to use Facebook, I'm not sure, but YouTube for very much sure, right? Social media is getting popularity every day. Right? Most people engage in social media. But before going to the internet, in the past years, we were having SMS. Don't you think that the issue of texting with wrong languages were not happening with SMS? For sure it was happening. At that time it was SMS. And then we move on with MMS, multimedia messaging. And then we move on with technology, with internet, right? Internet came. At that time, they were like internet speed. I'm not sure internet speed was very slow, very slow some years back. Those who remember the password, username password, telco, I don't know how much remember that, right? That internet was very slow, but still people were going to internet. You were not having a computer at home. You were going to cyber cafes. There were lots of cyber cafes. At that time, I was studying in India, and there were lots of cyber cafes everywhere. And every time you need to book before going. Go to a cyber cafe today, instantly. Everyone has a smartphone, Everyone has a computer at home, laptop, tablets, right? So with time, with technologies, things evolve. You don't need to be you don't need to be having to go to a cyber cafe to access internet. Smartphone. Lots of you have a smartphone today. I'll just tell you one thing. I was in a workshop some years back, and when we went in the morning, the trainer told us, those who got a phone, please empty your pocket and put in a basket there. Because the trainer said, you need to focus on what I'm going to train you, rather than checking your emails, WhatsApp, each 2 to 5 minutes, right? So all of the people who were in that training put their phones in the basket. What is the first reaction once you get the tea break? Or once you get the lunch? Everyone ran to the basket to pick up the phones. And what? To check what's in the mails, what's the SMS, what's the WhatsApp. This proves that we can't live today without our phones, without checking what's in there, internet and everything. Internet does not only provide negative impact, there is also positive. Like Drishti mentioned, okay, internet, there is social interaction. It gives you opportunities for research, awareness, job opportunities, right, as well as some online purchase, right. So internet doesn't always come with negative part of it, also the positive side of it. At Emtel, being an ISP, we do get complaints that at that time I was sleeping, I couldn't have done this usage or that usage. But with investigation, with checkings, we got to know that yes, the parent was sleeping, but the user was, he or her kid was being using that phone at that time. So it's also the responsibility of the parents, I think, that you should be ensuring that who is using, what is being used, what is being accessed, what is the content that you're allowing your kids or whoever you're giving a phone to follow. We do work closely with local authorities regarding child protection. Whenever there is an issue, we do intervene, we do provide our support wherever it's required. And also show our code of conduct, and with the relationship with our suppliers, we do ensure that there is no child labor or child abuse whoever we're working with, right? So I've been very brief. Going with the negative impact, which everybody has already discussed, already mentioned here, like cyberbullying, sexting, antisocial behavior, pornography, all these things are part of, yes, unfortunately, a part of internet today. Who is the one who is responsible? Who is the one who is using? Yes, it's a debate which we can continue and discussing until we don't know what is the final output, right? I don't know who all remembers about Pokemon, right? Pokemon was a play, I would say, that was a gaming play that was available, and everybody were using that, playing anytime, generally realizing what is the impact on their lives. But also there have been some death because due to Pokemon in other countries. Right? I don't know whether it's still being used or has been banned, but this is the impact of a game on the society. When you walk on the streets today, you will know that many of us will just take our mobiles and doing like that and walking. You're not even seeing what is in front of you. So we need to be responsible. We need to ensure that whatever we are doing, we are using, we have to ensure that we know what we are doing, give proper information, think well before uploading something. Today we upload lots of pictures, lots of images, we will post on Facebook. So before uploading, you need to know that you're responsible. Whatever you're doing, you need to ensure that you know what you have done so that this doesn't have any negative impact on you. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed, I'm just stealing a little bit of your session. Ms. Gandhi. Would like to recognize the presence of the Deputy Mayor, Mr. S.N. Mahmoud. Thank you very much for joining us. Can we put our hands together for him? Back to you, Ms. Gandhi.
Can I speak from here one? Oh, okay. So that we don't. So thank you very much. So I see there are quite a number of concepts that you are raising that we're thinking that we all understand what sexting is, cyberbullying, what it all means. I hope we will have a discussion later. And you also raised something about thinking before you share, because we always share things without thinking whether it will be there forever or something. So I hope it's something that we can discuss as well when we do question and answer. But thank you very much for that insightful presentation. Next, we have, I'm sorry if I'm going to mangle the pronunciation, but Mr. Kaleem, Kaleem, from the National Computer Board to share with us about Africa and the digital future, but also about the conversations that we've been having here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And first of all, I'd like to thank Ahmed for inviting me here, and then so that I can express my views again. And my name is Dr. Usmani, and I'm representing the Martian Computer Emergency Response Team, which is a part of the National Computer Group. And surely, I think right from the morning, a number of things has been said. We have been talking about child online protection. And child online protection is one of the initiatives which we take very seriously, and a number of things which we have been done at the level of the Computer Emergency Response Team of Mauritius. So maybe quickly I can just touch on 2-3 minutes onto this. And then maybe, as let's say my topic has just been, say, Africa and let's say digital future, I can a little bit touch on that, because a number of things needs to be said, but surely our time is short, and I'll be very precise in talking on to that. So let me, from the Mauritian perspective, of course, because if I say internet penetration in the country is very high as compared to, let's say, African countries, mobile and the broad, let's say, band, again, penetration is very, very high. And if you look at the number of, let's say, users of mobile phones, surely they have, let's say, outpassed the number of the total population that we have in the country, because the country has 1.23 million people, and the number of this mobile subscription is already around more than 1.6 million. So, of course, there are dangers, and on those dangers, we are talking about. Now, in terms of the initiatives which the Computer Emergency Response Team which has taken, basically, I think this is what interests to the youngsters, and of course, this is the parents who are there, as well as this is the corporates who are here. Once we are talking about, let's say, the technical measures. So, in terms of technical measures, we are saying that internet, if there is a problem, what do we do? I think this is the talk of the day, and this is what we're trying to address. So, first of all, this is the initiative that the country has taken. The country has set up a Martian cyber crime online reporting system. This particular system, normally, how it is beautiful because it, let's say, connects all the different stakeholders who are addressing the child online protection issues, for example. If I talk about Facebook, Emily is from Facebook. If I give the stats, out of 1.23 million people, Mauritius has more than 700,000 people who are already using Facebook. So it means that Facebook is a say, Facebook is a channel, and Facebook speaks in the country. So if there is anything going in the country, Facebook talks, let's say, into a second, and the fire is on through Facebook in a second. So this is something what is there. So this particular system which we have at the level of the government allows all, let's say, different stakeholders to connect, and that connects right from the CERT arm representing till the police. Is again what it does. It means that our, let's say, how to say, regulator, ICTA, this is onto the portal. Data Protection Office is on the portal. CERT, we are there onto the portal, as well as law enforcement is onto the portal. It means that whatever, let's say, anybody, youngster, is having any problem, he could come back to the portal, mocos.gov.org, and he can report, and that is escalating. Now, one more point, I think, which was discussed in the previous panel, we have been talking about resolution, we have been talking about the resolution of those incidents, or the cyber crime cases, how fast is that? So, of course, that's a full-fledged story to talk on, which we can surely talk a little bit later, because there is a problem there. The problem is that, of course, let's say how much time normally it takes in order to prosecute the whole cybercrime case. And there are delays. And that delays, of course, is being addressed by the government right now. What we are trying to do is that we are trying to address that channel of investigation and prosecution faster. And that's one of the, let's say, agenda items into the national cybercrime strategy which the government has finalized last year. So this is again something is being taken on board, and then we are talking about. So as far as Facebook cases, again, they are reported onto that portal, and that portal allows this to say get it resolved faster. This is one initiative which we have right now. Also, in terms of education, because ultimately what we are saying is that education is the key. Because without education into cybercrime or cybersecurity, we will fail. And in order to address that, what we did is that we have come up with the Martian National Cybersecurity Portal, and this portal has plenty of material. Of course, I mean, we are all stakeholders here. Every movement is a stakeholder, CERT is a stakeholder, there's any other organization who are talking on the behalf of child online protection is a stakeholder. So there is one initiative where we have number of, let's say, countries available, number of tools available, parental controls available. If somebody wants to have that, they could take it and they could use it. So if I say cyberbullying, what are the pros, what are the cons? This is again there. If I talk about cyber stalking, what are the pros, what are the cons? That is there. If I talk about, let's say, for example, cyber grooming, what are the pros, what are the cons? That is there. Online predators, if I talk about what is that, how it affects, how the youngsters they could take, let's say, I mean, protect themselves, this is again there. Parental controls with parents, of course, how they able to use those parental controls and they educate their children. So it means, let's say I say that if I'm a parent, if I'm having, let's say, the children, those who are using, of course, internet or computer machines, so how they should be using it. Means that they should be what, they should be seeing that what exactly they are doing, and thus, of course, we are talking about the responsibility of the civil society, and then this is again something what is there available onto that. So I think that's quickly where these are the initiatives in terms of technology. In terms of, for example, let's say sensitization and capacity building, a number of actors in the country, including the law enforcement, government, CERT, ICDA, Data Protection Office, and many more. Many other NGOs, they are talking that how they'll be able to sensitize people so that they're able to protect and they will become a responsible, let's say, users of the internet. So I think that's something again which I should say quickly. Now coming back to, let's say, what country normally is doing in terms of, for example, if you look at Africa and the digital challenge of Africa, because Africa has a population of around 1.2 billion people. And out of that, nearly some 453 million people, they are unconnected. And I think that percentage was mentioned before, let's say, somebody has mentioned in the previous session. And then that's, of course, let's say, this is becoming threefold on a yearly basis. It means that now the internet penetration in Africa is increasing. But what is lacking? I think this is the most important point, which we need to share. Because somebody has mentioned about the laws. How come the laws? So what normally the challenge in Africa is to combat cybercrime that we have to have on a singular platform. This is the most important thing. We have to be on a singular platform, and to be onto a singular platform, what do we need? We need to have, let's say, a concerted effort which has to be, let's say, organized from one point. It means that the whole Africa, 54 countries in Africa, does not have the harmonized regional laws. We don't have. This is what the country is doing. Mauritius is trying to set up a regional cybercrime capacity building center in the country. Launching is in November this year. And this particular center, what it will do is that it will, of course, help COMESA, SARNET, and IOC countries to sit together and talk about, let's say, the cybercrime. In what terms? In terms of harmonization of laws and legislations, which is something really important, because if you don't have that, you will not be able to address anything. This is important. We are talking about cyberbullying, we are talking about any other danger or misuse of the internet. This provision has to be into the law, and this has to cascade into each and every country. Then accordingly, Africa will be able to manage and tackle and combat cybercrime effectively. This is one point. Second point here is the capacity building. Capacity building in Africa is low. We need to have that. For example, say if you look at Mauritius, out of 1.23 million people, there's still people, they do not know data and use of the internet, though they are using. So it means education is the key. And in education is the key, so it means that all the actors, all the stakeholders, they have to be together and they have to talk it out how we can join hands so that everybody knows what are the dangers right from the parent to the user, for example, a child again. Now, third important thing is the international cooperation, because without this, we cannot do it, because internet, behind this room, if let's say any email is coming, I may not know that, whether it's coming within Mauritius or if it's coming from any part of the world. So this is what we're talking about, international cooperation, and this is what the country is trying to do. The country is trying to strengthen its laws so that international cooperation could be really strengthened. And for that, as I mentioned, let's say a while ago, that what Mauritius is trying to do is that Mauritius is trying to, of course, let's say, strengthen its mutual legal assistance with the other countries in Africa as well as the countries in Europe. One reason is that, because as I said that we are the signatory of the Budapest Convention, meaning to say that all 46 states of Europe, again, with the EU Convention on Cybersecurity and Personal Data Protection, again 54 countries, it means that already 2 continents covered. So international cooperation, it means that how this our Interpol channel, how the Europol channel, how the 24/7 contact, how this should function efficiently and effectively. For that, we need to have the international cooperation strengthened, and I think this is something again important. So in order to address this challenge for Africa, what Africa needs to have, it has to have established laws, domestic as well as regional, of course. Second thing, capacity building. So it has a capacity to address and the challenges which they face in their country, and then of course the cooperation between the countries so that they are able to effectively do that. I think that's it for just 10 minutes. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned quite a lot of factors, and I think one thing that we forget is how diverse Africa is, culturally, language-wise, and also that Africa has a lot of young people as compared to the older generation, and also that with Africa most users come online via mobile. So I think that's also important when we are talking around capacity building. And just to share that, for example, in South Africa, there is over 20 million people who come online on Facebook every month, and over 10 million per day. So that's quite a huge number, and most of those people come using via mobile. So I think for stakeholders, what's important is that whenever we do campaigns that are related to cybercrime or cybersecurity, we also have to do something that is compatible with mobile as well. So thank you so much for sharing that. We truly appreciate it. So we've been talking about different stakeholders and the role that they play, and I believe we are going to talk about the role NGOs play in child protection. What can NGOs play? What role can they play? Before joining Facebook, I was in the NGO sector for about 15 years. So I just want to hear what more NGOs can do. Are you having a presentation? Yeah, all right. You can.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a special hi to delegates from overseas. My name is Bhushan Chalan. I'm the president of the youth wing of the RSM Mauritius. And, well, I don't have a background in IT, neither in internet. I'm a scientist. I work for the Ministry of Environment in Mauritius, BSc Agriculture, MSc Environment, and I'm doing a PhD in Environmental Science. So, this subject, I would say it's something new to me. We use internet every day, and I'm trying to relate it a bit how this NGO, which I form part in, is trying to condemn and combat against the child protection. Well, the ISMR Mauritius, the prime objective is to do good to the whole world and to improve the social standard of all. Thanks. And in terms of social service, we care for the needy, we empower the youth and women, we empower kids through education, and we also conduct rehabilitation programs. Well, I think you're already aware of all these things, and since morning, a lot of speakers have already spoken on these problems. The world is moving at a very fast pace, and parents, they have almost no control over their kids. And the kids are more technology active than parents, and right now, kids are teaching the parents how to use mobile phones, tablets, computers, and all. And children are great for all these online things: Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, YouTube. And the problem associated with all this is a psychological trauma, due to psychopaths, virtual living. People are not living socially, they are only living in a virtual world. And also they become addicted to games, and it leads to suicidal gaming. And when we say, we talk of YouTube, people are actually, they are broadcasting their privacy. And it's the same thing which involves Facebook and other social networking sites. Say if I go to the cinema, I just log into Facebook and take a picture and say watching this movie at the cinema. And for a kid or for a child, they can become prey to many things when they just put everything they do online, on Facebook or on other social networking websites. And some of them, they even broadcast what they are doing live. So people, you are actually telling people what you're doing every day. I wake up this time, having my breakfast, lunch, I'm going to this shopping mall, I go to work at this time, I come back home at this time. So it's also giving, you're exposing your private life for you to be, it can lead to cyberbullying or even attacks, personal, or someone can come in your home, they can leave your house or anything like that. And there's one thing also in the Mauritian educational sector. Tablets were given to kids, I think, since standard 1, the kids, they have tablets now in the school. So I do understand there are positive aspects of kids using tablets, but we have to see the negative aspects as well. Because when you have the lessons and all these videos on YouTube, they're posted on the tablet for kids to go at home and learn. But what actually they are doing, as I said before, parents, they have no control on kids. And when they go home, they get free Wi-Fi, sorry, and they are using, they're accessing any other websites. Like I mentioned before, pornographic website, they go to YouTube, they are broadcasting themselves. So these are the negative aspects of using tablets or mobile phones for kids. And this is an overview of what we do in ISMR Mauritius. We run all these residential care homes, and the inmates, they are, have women, young girls, men, old age. And we care for the kids. This word is we use it in Creole also. Baika is a school that we kids come to learn, afternoon, weekend school, where they are taught human and moral values, and we still run these schools in all these Samaj branches all over Mauritius. And we also teach kids how to do yoga. And in terms of education, the NGO is running 2 primary schools, 3 colleges, 1 university, and numerous pre-primary schools. And all these educational institutions, they are run in the way that it should be. And we are making reference to this book over there. It's in Hindi, the name is Satya Prakash, it means light of truth. And it's not only for Hindus, because the Arya Samaj Mauritius is not an institution only for Hindus, it's for anybody who wants to lead a happy life, a good life. And the founder of this movement, Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati, he wrote this book, the Satya Prakash, and it speaks a lot on the upbringing of children, responsibilities of parents, responsibilities of kids, and the difference between good and bad. And you have other chapters also speaking of education, the characteristic of teachers. There is a Sanskrit saying, Matriman Pitriman Acharyaman Purusho Veda, which means the first teacher of a kid is his mother, the second teacher is the father, and the third teacher is the teacher itself. So this is the way we use in Arya Samaj in Mauritius, in all the branches. We teach our kids to become responsible citizens and not prey, they don't become prey to these online things like Facebook. I'm not saying them not to use these apps and all these things, but to use them like the way they should use it. And we have also launched recently, yesterday we launched a mobile app of the Light of Truth, which is available on Google Play. Any of you can download this app and have a look at the book. It's in English, you can have a read. And well, we in the Arya Samaj, that's what we do. We run all these educational institutions, all these care homes. We have so many, more than 450 branches all over Mauritius. And we do all we can to spare our kids from these online witches. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. You raised something that's very important around addiction. And addiction is not just for children, even adults. Like when you wake up, you check, before you sleep, you're talking to someone, you check your phone. So you raised something that's very, very important, and thank you so much. And you also talked about online problems that you face. But I also want to challenge listeners not to just think of online problems, because these are challenges that we also face even offline, because social media is a mirror of what is happening in society. It doesn't necessarily mean that someone who is bad out there then becomes good when they come online. But I also hope that someone will also talk about fake news as a safety issue as well, particularly for children, and how it harms other people as well, and it can be used as a type of bullying tool. But now we're open for questions, and we are at 1:15. I hope by 1:30 we'll be done. We'll be completely done so that we go for lunch. Any questions? Oh, we were fantastic. There are no questions.
My question is Usmani. Many of the protestants were agitated to strictly report on the internet order when it comes to network neutrality. Do you think it's a viable project in Mauritius or even in Africa to limit part of the essence of network neutrality for minors when it comes to pornographic sites or sites which are known to produce fake news, which can hamper their thinking? Do you think we can do that? Just repeat once more your question. When it comes to network neutrality, can we come apart from essence of network neutrality when it comes to sites, pornographic sites, or sites producing fake news? Do you think we can be part of this? This essence of network neutrality.
You say that can we be the part of it?
Yes. The government and being.
I'm assuming people know what net neutrality is, but you can just explain and try to link with the person.
So, actually, looking at and talking about the net neutrality, of course, because I'm not the right person to say that, because normally I look at the cybersecurity, let's say, arm of the government. So, but surely, for example, From the cybersecurity angle and net neutrality, these are two very different topics to talk about and to comment onto the part of net neutrality. Of course, I think the government should support that, because we are talking, of course, in terms of, right to, how do you call that? Right of expression. How do you say that, Jennifer? Just figure it out. Freedom of expression. So freedom of expression act, this is again something what normally, being taught in terms of, for example, open data portal, because recently the government has launched an open data portal where they're allowing the data sets from the government to be available to the public. So it means that in a way, indirectly, if I need to comment, then surely, of course, the government is for it, but let's say to making a clear statement on behalf of government, and I think I'm not in a position to do that.
Thanks for that question. Hopefully there will be someone who will help you answer that. Any other questions or comments as well are welcome. We have only one mic.
My name is Lindley. I'm 18 years old. My question is, what is being done for games and challenges across the internet that are misleading young students?
If you want to, anyone, did you get that? The question. Okay, let me take 3% and then 2 more. I'm surprised they're 18-year-old. When I was 18, I could not even hold in my talk, but yeah, it's amazing.
Hello, I'm from High Movement. There's a question from Jonathan from our Facebook page. The question is, some families sell their child for food, which is also a fact to child abuse. What is being done about that, and what is being done to bring every country to an equal level of technology? Thank you.
Wow, great questions, yes.
I'm Mr. Ahmed from the Child Development Unit. My question is for Mr. Aukhojee. I would like to know, sometimes we have cases we see that minors are harassed via WhatsApp or text messages. Then it is a cybercrime unit which is normally. I would like to know the procedure.